This is something that I thought about more and more as people were discussing the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case and going back and forth on what they thought about it. People that were defending Heard kept mentioning that in London, she won a case there, right? She won her case there. A judge found Johnny Depp to be a wife beater. But here in North America, they couldn't grasp how the judge here couldn't come to that same conclusion. So as I started looking at this and trying to figure this out, it was like, whoa, this is it pretty easy. Okay. All right. This took me back to that book on Metacomet. And it takes me back to the Sixth Amendment for the U.S. Constitution. That you have the right to a speedy public trial by a jury of your own peers. And what I mean by Metacomet was in that book, there was 12 selected to the jury, right? 6 were Indians from his tribe. 6 were Englishmen, right? So it was 50-50, but he still had a jury of his own peers. And you're like, okay, well, what about the English? Remember, Metacomet, the mulatto king, was supposed to be King Philip. I believe it was the third. It was either the second or the third over here. And he was the king over the English people. When he was amongst the English, he was King Philip. And it was like the English in Florida. He was ruling over Georgia and I think Alabama. He was ruling over. Whenever he went to the English settlements there, he was the king there. When he was back amongst his own people, he was Metacomet. So this was something that I realized then. How could a judge find him guilty over there, but not over here? Johnny Depp, that is, right? Johnny Depp didn't have to persuade a judge over here of his innocence or guilt. He had to persuade the jury over here. Over there in England or London, he only had to persuade a judge. And then I stepped back and started thinking about it. It's been there in front of my face. I just wasn't realizing what I was seeing. See, I used to watch Western movies with my dad, like, The Rifleman, and Bonanza and things like that. And I remember seeing this, that a lot of the towns in those shows didn't have a judge. You had the local people and you had the local people and a prosecutor. In some episodes you didn't have the prosecutor. You had the two sides, the party that was wronged and the party that was that did the wrong, that were arguing back and forth in front of a jury set up, right? With no judge, no attorneys, no prosecutors. That's how they're depicting it was set up, it was meant to go, or meant to be. That's the whole jury of your peers, right? And then I realized that's what they were trying to get away from when they set that up in the Constitution, right? Go back and watch these movies, of England. They're trying to depict of England. You got one person sitting in a box, a whole audience of hundreds of people, maybe 200 people, and this person that's in this box is pleading before like 3 or 4 judges, right? They tried to set it up over here where you didn't have the judge, right? And that's what they were doing with the Sixth Amendment. And that's where I started seeing people that were on the news, these anchors and hosts that they were bringing, were condemning the jury of being tainted. That, they had to have went home and been on social media and seen the comicalness of Amber Heard and made up their mind that way. Like these people couldn't separate. You can entrust a judge to separate, emotions and go off of facts. But you're saying the common day people just couldn't do it. And the way social media painted Amber Heard is that she was, a bad person. So therefore, these people made up their mind at home that she was bad, and they were just influenced. Like judges aren't influenced, right? And I started realizing, look at the ACLU's articles on this. They're trying to really push that jury trials need to be done away with. And I'm trying to find the article. I read this, and I don't remember how I searched for it, but when I do, I will do a video on that article from the ACLU. But the feeling I got, then watching the news, I was like, they want to do away with jury trials and just have a trial with a judge. So to me, I'm like, sneakily, underhandedly, this is what's going on. Why? That's the question. And the answer might be obvious, but I'll still ask it. Why? I mean, to me, I just think of, with this, harsher punishments. And you even grasp this, even when Depp won his trial with the jury, the judge still changed the amount he was allowed to receive. The jury gave a certain amount that he's going to receive. The judge changed it. And I don't know if that's within her right, or I don't know how she has the ability to do that, but I thought that was interesting. That they gave him a certain amount, and the judge said, okay, thank you for your time. And when they left the courtroom, changed it. So, bottom line, the way the Constitution was written was that judges weren't needed. Judges seemed to be brought in when you had a county that was wealthy enough to afford a judge, and they had something to hide and to protect because they were maybe stealing it from their neighbors. That's when they needed a judge on their side. Because it seems to me, if you just go back and watch Western movies, right? Western shows, the way it was set up, all you needed was the sheriff there who could recite the law and the punishment for breaking that law. That was it. Other than that, it was up for the jury to decide innocent or guilt. So, that's all I have to say about this.